So welcome back, folks, to another exciting adventure of a Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile brought to you by yours truly, Click01. So anyway, yeah, so here are all my decks so far. This is my latest one that I just did. But let me go ahead and do a Junk Doppel real quickly, so that way you can sort of see what I've been working on, even though I haven't tested it out as far as I want to go. I was able to pull off a few of the combos that I actually wanted to show y'all. And in terms of like the best type of Junk Doppel deck that I can possibly run, this is it right here. So hold on a second. Okay, sorry about that. I had to take care of my parents real quickly. But anyway, so yeah, so I actually went ahead and tried to make about as close to a Yusei Fudo deck that I could, with the exception of I did actually have to add some mini engines in here to sort of help support it, like for instance the small plant engine, which consists of the 3 monsters, Dandelion, Spore, and Lone Fire, and then also the small TG engine, which is really, it's only TGs that actually really matter in my opinion, and that's TG Striker, 3 Warwolves. But yeah, let me go ahead and go through it. So essentially what my idea was, I tried to recreate the Junk Doppel deck that I had created so long ago when I actually got into Quasar. Because I remember, man, this was my freshman year of college, and I was like, oh my gosh, this shooting Quasar Dragon is like fucking Stardust Dragon on steroids. And then I saw how hard he was to bring out, and I was like, okay, moving on. But actually, it's this deck was the first one that actually got me into thinking of ideas of how to summon it, because I found out that it is actually possible. So I started trying to think of different combos that I could pull off. There actually is a 3-card combo in here, using Level Eater, Synchron Explorer, and Quickdraw to be able to summon it. And I don't know, actually I do pull off like a pseudo combo with that, but I'll show you in, as I go through this deck list. But that's essentially what my idea was originally. But then I realized that it was kind of inconsistent. Even though a lot of the times I would first turn Quasar, it just didn't seem like it would be that consistent. Just because, I don't know. So I sort of changed up the extra deck so that way it's focused around more of bringing out good monsters to beat my opponent down. And if I just so happen to bring out Shooting Star or Quasar, then so be it, you know? But they're not the primary reason for making synchros in this deck. It's to make these other guys really good people, like Junk Warrior, or mainly Gardener and Archer are pretty good. But also Junk Defender, or not Junk Defender, Junk Destroyer is actually quite good with his ability. If you use up to 2 non-tuner synchro monsters or materials, it's actually quite good for that. And also I have Natural Warrior in here just because he's an additional level 7 besides just the Black Rose nuking the field. So I really liked Natural Warrior because of that. Also, you know, Yusei ran it, and although he looks derpy as shit, I still sort of like him. Also, well, I'll go through this as after I get through this. So first of all, I think I've heard of these things called Quickdraw decks. I'm assuming they revolve around Quickdraw Synchron? Maybe? I'm not exactly sure, but needless to say, you need to run 3 of this guy. This guy is so good. He special summons himself. Essentially, all you have to do is send 1 monster from your hand to the grave, and then you special summon him. And I've got most of the cards that are in this deck, most of the monsters, are stuff that I actually want to send to the grave. I want Doppel Warrior to be in the grave, or I want Level Eater to be in the grave, or I want my plants like Spore or Dandelion to be in the grave, or Tuning Ware. I mean, very few of them do I actually want in my hand. Like TG Striker and maybe Unknown Synchron because they can special summon themselves. But if they are in the grave, it's okay, because Junk Synchron will be able to special summon them because it's level 1, level 2. The few things that I actually want in my hand are things like Warwolf and Junk Synchron. Really, that's it. Maybe a Lone Fire to use Lone Fire's effect. But Unknown Synchron's less important, and I can always special summon it back with Junk Synchron to go into a level 5 Synchro. But it's just really important to be able to get a free special summon like this, because having 2 Quickdraw Synchrons in your hand, and maybe a Level Leader and a Quillbolt, and you're able to start making stuff happen. It's actually quite amazing, which is really good. especially because Quickdraw Synchron is a level 5, and a level leader can immediately eat off of him and start doing some stuff, which is really cool. That's how a lot of times I'll make Junk Warrior. Junk Warrior! Show us your junk! Your Junk Warrior, you say? No, I'm just kidding. If you've ever watched Bonds Beyond Time of Bridge, you'll know what I'm talking about. But anyway, yeah, so Quickdraw Synchron's really good for that. And also the other ability that he has is he can replace a Synchron monster in one of your materials, because obviously I don't have a Nitro Synchron, but that's okay, because I can take Quickdraw Synchron and Quillbolt hedgehog and make Nitro Warrior, which is really good. He's very versatile. You can make a Junk Warrior, you can make a Junk Gardener if you wanted to. Level Leader eat off of him, you can make a Junk Warrior, but if you have a Level Warrior and it didn't eat off of him, for instance, then you could go ahead and make the Junk Gardener. Or you could have Quillbolt and him make a Junk Archer, because Junk Archer is also level 7, or Nitro Warrior, either one, because he replaces that Synchro, or the Junk Synchron. Now, you can also still take Junk Synchron, Junk Synchron, and still make Junk Destroyer, or Junk Archer, Junk Gardener. I do that a little less often, because I like to bank off the ability of Quickdraw. He's really good. Also, I use Quickdraw, oh my gosh, it's so good whenever you're able to make Road Warrior, because Road Warrior is just so good. Actually, Road Warrior is involved in the 3-card combo where you have Level Leader, Quickdraw, and Unknown, or Synchron Explorer. But he's a little bit harder to get out. That's the only reason why I'm a little hesitant about that, because he does require 2 or more non-tuner monsters. So you can't just take Quickdraw and a Level Leader and a Quillbolt and make them. Or actually, you can. But I'm saying you can't take a Quickdraw and a Warwolf to make them, I guess would be the better example. But you could take a Quickdraw and a Warwolf to go into really good stuff like a Chevalier de Fleur, and she's really good, and I'll get into her later. Or a Junk Destroyer, even. But that's the reason why Quickdraw is in here. He's just really good, free special summon. He makes a lot of the combos even possible. So, yeah. But need to make sure that when you have them, you have to send a monster to special summon them. It's just like 1-for-1. It has to be a monster, not just any card. So next is Junk Synchron. The reason why I run 3 of him is because most Junk Doppel decks do just happen to run 3 of him. I would run a... in my Doppel agents, I did run an Allure of Darkness because I had a lot of dark monsters like Junk Synchron, Doppel Warrior, and some other stuff. Also Unknown, yeah, Unknown's also dark. But the thing is, I don't have as many darks. A lot of these guys, the TGs are all Earths. Yeah, Level Leader's dark. But unfortunately, if Quickdraw were dark, then I would actually run it because I would have enough. But he's wind for some reason. Why? I guess because he shoots so fast, he's like the wind? I have no idea. But yeah. So this deck does sometimes lack a little bit of draw power. Until you start making stuff like, TG Hyper Librarian, and then Formula Synchron, and also Tuning Ware gives you that free draw as well, but I'll get into him later. So anyway, yeah, Junk Synchron, he's really good. A lot of the monsters in here, just like in Yusei's deck, they're really weak. I mean, everything from Quillbolt down is all level 2 or lower. So they are viable targets for Junk Synchron. It's really good. However, the only problem is their effect is negated. So like when I bring back Tuning Ware, I won't be able to use his ability to manipulate his level into a level 2. Because Tuning Ware can be a level 1 or a level 2 if it's being synchro summoned, which is pretty good. But other than that, it doesn't really affect me. So Junk Synchron's really good because it is the level 3 tuner that I will use a lot of the times to make level 5s, which is really good. Or to go into, like, for instance, a multiple level type thing. If I'm trying to make a level 8, I may grab him, a Warwolf, and a level 2, like a Quillbolt or Doppel Warrior. So I might use Junk Synchron to bring back a Quillbolt, and then I could then special summon a Warwolf because I just special summoned a level 4 lower monster. So that's really good. And actually, speaking of TG Warwolf, let's just go ahead and move into TG Warwolf. So one of the things about TG monsters, and this is true about all of them, in terms of, well, I'm pretty sure almost all of them, except for, of course, the Synchros. If they get destroyed by battle, you can add 1 TG monster. Wait, is it by battle? If this at the end of it was destroyed and okay, it doesn't say by battle, it's just destroyed. Then you can add 1 TG monster from your deck that's not its own name. So if TG Warwolf gets destroyed, and sent to the grave, it will give you the ability to maybe add a TG to your hand, because TG Striker is possible, so you can add him. If TG Striker gets destroyed, then you can add a Warwolf to your hand or something like that. But I rarely use that ability, because usually as soon as I wouldn't summon Warwolf without him being able to go into a Synchro summon normally. Sometimes I miscalculate and he ends up staying on the field, but only once I think really I used his ability to bring a Striker to my hand. But he's really good, and here's the reason why. Because when a level 4 or lower monster is special summoned from my hand or from my opponent's hand, it doesn't even have to be from the hand, excuse me. If Junk Synchron uses his ability, he can be brought to the field. If Doppel Warrior uses his ability to special summon himself from the hand, he can use his ability. Anything. Synchron Explorer, anything. Quickdraw Synchro, well no, it has to be level 4 or lower. So that is actually a good example. Quillbolt Hedgehog trying to special summon himself. TG Warwolf is like, oh, do you want to special summon me? You know, that type of thing. He's really good because he's a level 3. I've got my level 2 Synchro, or not Synchro, my tuner that I can make into like a level 5 Synchro if I wanted to. But I usually use this guy to make it probably a level 6, like with a Junk Synchron or something, or to go in, normally it will be like Quickdraw Synchron and TG Warwolf, and I'll go into like a Chevalier de Fleur or maybe a Junk Destroyer. I try not to go into Junk Destroyer unless I have 2 or more non-tuner monsters, because it's really better to pop one card than 2 cards, and that's his only effect. So, you know, once he hits the field, that's it. No special ability beyond that. And TG Warwolf is so good, he can be special summoned on your opponent's turn to save you or something. So that's the reason why I run 3 of them. He's really a dead card in your hand, but one of the things about this deck is if you do have a dead monster in your hand, Quickdraw is usually the way to go, or a 1-for-1 to help get rid of it, that type of thing. It's actually quite good about being able to keep that up. So anyway, so Lone Fire. What is Lone Fire? It's part of the small plant engine. Pretty much it's just you normal summon it. Unfortunately, that's the only thing I really hate about it, is you normal summon it and that you waste your normal summon. But you would normally special summon like a Spore from your deck. I rarely ever go for the Dandelion. Dandelion's usually for the Foolish Burial type of deal. But the reason why I have Lone Fire and Dandelion is because it increases the chances of having a plant in the graveyard to use Spore's ability. So that's really the only reason why I have Lone Fire. Honestly, I don't know why Lone Fire is at 2, not at 2, or even 3. I mean, come on, the plants aren't overpowering. Lone Fire's ability is not overpowering or broken. Like, give plants back their Lone Fire. I mean, you already took away their. Well, I don't think that Dandelion ever really played a major component, and I think Dandelion plays a bigger part in Junk Doppel than it does in actual plants. Because Akiza never ran Dandelion, Jaden did. But, I don't know. Anyway, so Dandelion, let's just talk about Dandelion then, since I'm already on him. The main reason why I like this guy so much is because if you had Spore on the field, because you played 1-for-1 or something, and you ditched Dandelion for that, then Spore comes out, Dandelion summons you 2 tokens, you can immediately take Spore and one of the tokens, make a formless Synchron, then you can use Spore's ability, banish Dandelion to make it a level 4, take the other token and make a Hyper Librarian. I mean, it's just so good. Dandelion's just so good because it's sent to the graveyard. Special summon 2 fluff tokens. So you could activate Foolish Burial and you still get those 2 tokens. It's really nice. But yeah, also, I mean, I guess they could act as blockers. Dandelion goes to the grave and you, because of battle, and you still have these 2 fluff tokens to help fluff out the damage, I suppose, you know, just take it in defense. But anyway, the next monster, of course, is Quillbolt Hedgehog, this little guy. There was actually a really violent animation in Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds of where Quillbolt Hedgehog got attacked from the back and just like got pulverized, and his bolts went everywhere. I'm like, wow, if that had been blood, that would have been cruel. But like, it looked like animal cruelty in my part, or in my opinion. But who cares? You know, honestly, that's not why y'all came to listen to me, right? Hopefully not. So the reason why this guy is really good is because you have a face-up tuner on the field. He can special summon himself from the grave, which is really cool. That means he can get by a Solemn Judgment, first of all. But also the fact that you rely on monsters to special summon themselves a lot of times in this deck, because you'll waste your normal summon on something like a Lone Fire, or a Synchron Explorer, or a Junk Synchron. That's the thing. You'll waste your normal summon on that, so you need supplementary monsters to be able to special summon themselves to add to the combo, essentially. So, you could Junk Synchron into Quillbolt, go into a level 5, and then special summon Quillbolt again, because maybe you had a Quickdraw on your side of the field, and go into like a Nitro Warrior or something. Just all these ridiculous plays, and Quillbolt's so good, and he's okay if you ditch him to the grave, because there are multiple ways to bring him back, either by his own effect or by Junk Synchron. Okay, actually that's pretty well it. But, I'm just saying, it's really good for that ability. So that's the reason why I run 2 of them. I used to run 1 back in the day, and I tried it out with 2, and it's just been really consistent, so I'm just keeping it at 2 right now. Quillbolt's really cool. So Doppel Warrior. I mean, it's called Junk Doppel deck, right? So you're going to see a freaking Doppel Warrior in here. So the reason why this guy is really good is because if anything special summon from the grave, whether it's from Junk Synchron's effect, Quillbolt's effect, Level Eater's effect, or even Spore's effect, or of course, you know, the obvious Spore's Monster Form. That also works. But I'm saying anything being special summoned from the graveyard, he can immediately special summon himself from the hand. That is a beautiful way of getting a level 2 on the field as well, from your hand. So, sometimes you have a Quillbolt in your hand or a Doppel Warrior. If you had to ditch one for Quickdraw, I would ditch Quillbolt, because Quillbolt can special summon himself from the grave. Doppel Warrior can special summon himself from the hand after Quillbolt's just been special summoned from the grave. It's beautiful synergy of how that works. Also, the reason why this guy is pretty good is sometimes if he's already in the grave, Junk Synchron can bring him back, go into a level 5, and then you've got these 2 tokens that you can now mess with, and do whatever you want with them. Make a Formless Synchron from one of those level 1 tokens, or take a level 4 tuner like Spore made himself, or if Level Eater ate off of Quickdraw Synchron and now you can do something with it, or whatever, you know, just go crazy with it. I use the tokens sometimes, just to do anything. But now the only thing is you have to be careful, because these tokens are special summoned into attack mode. So, and they only have 400 attack. So you probably should make sure that you can use them up, otherwise don't do it at all. Also, make sure that those 2 tokens don't take up all 5 monster card zone spaces, because otherwise you've kind of screwed yourself in order to do further combos. So just keep that in mind. I'm not sure if I'm going to... I'm going to do what I did in my consular profile, or deck profile, and that is I'm going to split this up into 2, because this deck is... I feel like a lot of people think that this deck would be easy to run, and then when they get a hand, they're like, oh my gosh, this is a shitty hand. And actually, a lot of the times it's not. It's just you may not know how to work the mechanics of the deck and fully utilize the potential that this deck has. And that's the reason why I try to go through detailed commentaries of it. And I'm sorry if it bores you, but you know, that's why YouTube has a recommended videos list right next to it. So anyway, so TG Striker, I honestly don't know why this guy's still at 1. I mean, over a year ago, Japanese OCG was having problems with TG Stun. Come on, Konami, that was over a year ago. Let the TGs have their Striker back. I mean, honestly, I can understand why Hyper Librarian is still at 1, even though sort of Synchros are dying out. But as you can see, I use only Synchros in this. So, yeah. But Striker, honestly? Okay, so all Striker is, and you can activate his effect all you want, unlike Unknown Synchron. As long as, if your opponent controls a monster and you control no monsters, so it's sort of like Constellar Siet, or whatever his guy's name is, you can special summon him from your hand. And he's really good because he's a level 2 tuner, which is one of the things that this deck doesn't have, besides, of course, himself, is a level 2 tuner, which is really good. But the other reason why I really like him, and I'll talk to you about Road Warrior and his ability, but that's the other reason why, is because he's a level 2 warrior tuner. He's really nice that way. But that's really the only reason why I even have him, is to use his ability like that. I try not to normal summon him, and it's probably good that I only have 1 of him in here, because rarely do I ever get to activate his effect, because I normally have a monster on my side of the field. So, you know, I can't use his ability at that point. Anyway, so Synchron Explorer, I would not recommend running 3 of him. 2 is just fine. It's really good. I just run 2 of him just because 2 level leaders, 2 unknowns, or Synchron. Why do I keep calling this guy Unknown Synchron? I don't know. Unknown Synchron is right there. Anyway, so Synchron Explorer, level leader, and Quickdraw Synchron, you're able to pull off some amazing combos with that. Shooting Quasar Dragon is one of them. But you don't want Synchron Explorer too many in your hand because A, it clogs, and you do have to normal summon this guy. His effect is like Junk Synchron. It's only when you normal summon him do you actually get his effect. But Synchron Explorer can actually special summon Quickdraw, he can special summon Junk, and he can special summon Unknown Synchron from your grave. And remember, even though he's got Synchron in his name, he's not a tuner monster. He's the only Synchron monster that's not a tuner. So just keep that in mind, but he's still really good for his searching ability in the grave. So that's good. Also, if you're thinking about running machine duplication, he's really good. He's a target for machine duplication. Unknown Synchron, don't know why you'd run multiple of him, or past 2 of him anyway. I wouldn't run 3 of them. And Tuning Ware also is a target for machine duplication, but I don't run machine duplication. Honestly, in my opinion, it's a waste. I wouldn't run them. So anyway, but yeah, that's the reason why I have Synchron Explorer, is just because of that ability. So level leader. So level leader's really good. Oh my gosh, level leader's just so good when you have a Quickdraw Synchron in your hand, or if he's already in the grave. That's really the only time. So I love level leader when I either have a 1-for-1 or a Quickdraw Synchron in my hand, because this guy just like eats off of stuff that you don't want to have high levels, and he makes a level 1 non-tuner monster really easily. And then you can have your other synchro or your other tuner monsters to start making synchros with a level 1 on the field. So you can go into like Unknown Synchron and level leader is a lot of times what I try to do when I make, or Spore I suppose is also a possibility whenever I try to make like a formula Synchron. So rarely do I ever use tokens these days. I don't know why. It's just, it seems like a lot less often that I'm actually using the tokens. It's just weird that way. Level leader is the main way that I do it. But now that I'm actually talking about level leader, I might as well tell you about the 3-card combo. So what you do is you have a level leader or Synchron Explorer and Quickdraw Synchron in your hand, right? So Quickdraw Synchron, discard a level leader, special summon Quickdraw Synchron, eat off of Quickdraw Synchron's level to make him 4, take Quickdraw Synchron with a level leader, make a Junk Warrior. Eat off of Junk Warrior, make him a level 4. Now you take normal summon Synchron Explorer, bring back Quickdraw Synchron. That's 5 plus 2 plus the level leader that you just brought back. That's 8. Make a Road Warrior. Now you've got Road Warrior at level 8, and Junk Warrior got eaten off of by level leader, so he's at level 4. Now, you use Road Warrior's effect. This is the reason why Road Warrior is so good. Special summon an Unknown Synchron from your deck. Now you eat off of Road Warrior's level, making him a level 7. Take Unknown Synchron and level leader, make Formula Synchron. Eat off of Road Warrior's level one more time, making him a level 6. Level 6 plus the formula that you just made plus a level 4 Junk Warrior equals level 12 Shooting Quasar Dragon. That's how you do it, with 3 cards. That's the shortest combo. There's no such thing as a 2-card combo in this deck. They all require 3 cards or more. So, yeah. Probably one of the best hands that you could possibly start off with is either with a Foolish Burial or 1-for-1, because those cards are just so good. I prefer a 1-for-1, to be honest. But if you have a Foolish Burial and a 1-for-1, there actually is a 3-card combo, and I'm trying to think of what it is. 1-for-1, Foolish Burial, and something else. But essentially, you Foolish Burial, Dandelion, get those 2 tokens, 1-for-1 for a Spore, go into a... Okay, so here's what you would need. You would need essentially a 4-card combo, because it'd be good to have something, either an Unknown Synchron in your hand, a Quillbolt, or a Doppel Warrior in your hand, to discard for the 1-for-1. Then you would need a Junk Synchron. So you would take the Dandelion, send it to the grave with Foolish Burial, get those 2 tokens. Then you would 1-for-1 whatever the level 2 monster that you... It has to be a level 2 non-tuner though. Send it to the grave, special summon Spore from your deck. Take one of the tokens with Spore, make Formless Synchron. Banish Dandelion from your graveyard, making Spore a level 4 tuner, special summoned. Then make a Hyper Librarian. So you used up both of the tokens. Now you summon Junk Synchron, special summon that level 2 monster that was a non-tuner, and then you make a Junk Warrior, essentially, or a Catastor, doesn't freaking matter. And then that's shooting Quasar Dragon as well. But that one's a little bit more difficult, obviously. So Spore, that's the reason why I have her in here. Or him, or it. I don't know what the hell it is. But essentially, I'm used to running only one Spore, and really all you need is one Spore, because, I mean, if you get it in your hand, then you discard it, or you can normal summon it, or I prefer 1-for-1 it. If I could run 3 1-for-1s, holy shit, I would. Oh my gosh, yeah, I would. Like, 1-for-1 is just so freaking good. I would take out the card destruction if I could, but the reason why I have card destruction, well, I'll get there when I get there. But I also have one tuning ware. I only have one tuning ware because normally I will be special summoning it from Road Warrior if I need a level 1 machine type monster. So tuning ware is my option for that. But beyond that, I mean, I usually will discard him and I can special summon him back with Junk Synchron or something. Otherwise, you'd have to normal summon him, and that's a real waste in my opinion, because the normal summons should be wasted on things like Junk Synchron or Synchron Explorer, so, or Lone Fire. So yeah, I run 2 unknown Synchrons because sometimes you do get this guy to your hand, so you special summon him using his own effect, which is pretty good. Unfortunately, it's once per duel, but you would still want one of them remaining in your deck, so that way you can special summon a level 1 tuner from your deck using Road Warrior, like I was already telling you about the 3-card combo. So that's why it's really good. 1-for-1. This card is just so freaking good. I can understand why it's at 1. Otherwise, it'd make this deck broken. So yeah, being able to send a monster from your hand to the grave, and then being able to special summon a level 1 monster from your deck, whether it be a tuning ware. I try not to do Love Leader, but either an unknown Synchron, tuning ware, or Spore. Depending on if I already have a plant in the grave, I'll go for a Spore over an unknown Synchron. But essentially, they're both level 1 tuner, so I try to go for a Spore if possible. Because unknown Synchron, I try to keep them in my deck as much as possible for Road Warrior. But if I need a level 1 and it has to be a non-tuner, because I've already got plenty of tuners on the field, tuning ware is the guy to go for a Road Warrior's effect. So yeah, that's the reason why I like that's really the reason why I like tuning ware. Also, his ability to manipulate his level into a level 2, assuming that his effect didn't get negated with Junk Synchron or something. That's also really good, because I mean, if you did have a Quickdraw on the field and you had a tuning ware, you could go into a Junk Gardener, you could go into a Junk Archer, depending on what level you want tuning ware to be. So it's really good. Plus, you get a free draw if he's used for a Synchro summon. So it's really good. Unknown Synchron, that's just what it is. 1-for-1, I already talked about it. The Holy Trinity, Heavy Storm, Darkhold, Monster Reborn. They're necessary in just about every single deck. Reinforcement of the Army, it's pretty good because rarely do I ever add a TG Striker to my hand. But if the time calls for it where I am actually able to use Striker's effect, reinforcement for him, bring him out. But you can also bring out Doppel Warrior and Junk Synchron. Why Junk Synchron is Warrior and Quickdraw is not? Shit, I have no idea. Junk Synchron looks more like a machine than Quickdraw does, to be honest. But whatever. That's why I have Reinforcement of the Army in here. 1-for-1 because this deck can be a little slow, and it's a good way to save yourself while also being able to draw an extra card for that. So it's pretty good for filtering. Card destruction, because sometimes you end up with a really shitty hand that you can't do anything with, and remember, most of these cards are okay to go to the grave. A lot of the times, a shitty hand is like, you don't have, like you have a quick draw, or you don't have a quick draw and you need one, or you have a Junk Synchron and nothing's in the grave to special summon yet, and that's kind of crappy, or you just really can't do anything with it. So that's the reason why I have card destruction, just in case. Foolish Burial is really good. I can understand why this card is at 1. You can send a card to the grave, so that way you can start special summoning with Junk Synchron. Sending Dandelion to the grave to activate its effect, I already told you. Sending Spore to the grave, perhaps. or sending Doppel Warrior to the grave so you can special summon it. Even sending Level Eater sometimes to the grave. So that way I can start pulling off the combos like now, you know? It just really depends. Anyway, so that's the reason why I have Foolish Burial. So 3 tunings. This is, I used to only run 2, but if you really want to make it more consistent, Quickdraw Synchron is probably one of the most important Synchron monsters to bring to your hand. Now notice that this says add 1 Synchron tuner monster. So before you try going out there and doing what I did the first time, trying to add a Synchron Explorer to my hand, it's not going to work. It has to be a tuner. So adding Quickdraws, which is normally what I go for, because I'm usually able to keep pretty good hand consistency with junk Synchrons. And the thing is, you could special summon as many Quickdraws as you want most of the time. You can only normal summon junk Synchron once per turn. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Also, you can bring Unknown Synchron to your hand if you wanted, but it just depends on what the situation calls for, really. 2 MST because I hate back row. That's really it. Bottomless Trap Hole, Compulse, and Solemn Judgment. Those are my 3. If I can only run 3 trap cards, it's going to be between these 3, or I would trade out a Compulse for a Mirror Force, really. But you know, you can always side that in if you want. I just like Compulse just because I run into a whole bunch of XYZs and Synchros. And Mirror Force can't always stop that. So, yeah, that's the only reason why. So going into the extra deck, what time am I at right now? Holy crap. I'm going to try to make this extra deck pretty fast. Shooting Quasar Dragon is pretty self-explanatory. If you've watched my Level Out Quasar deck, yeah. Shooting Star Dragon, here's his effect. He's pretty damn amazing. You bring him out using Stardust Dragon and Formless Synchron, or by Quasar's last effect. Either one. Now, let me actually get into the important ones, because Road Warrior is extremely important. Once per turn, you can special summon level 2 or lower warrior or machine type monster from your deck. That is amazing, actually. Unknown Synchron, Tuning Ware. Those are my level 1s, tuner and non-tuner. Synchron Explorer, TG Striker, or even Quillbolt Hedgehog. Level 2 non-tuner, level 2 non-tuner, level 2 tuner. That is perfect. It's really good. I mean, also you could obviously go for Doppel Warrior. I try to save him if possible. I try to go target for the monsters that I think I'll never be able to use for the rest of the game, like Synchron Explorer or Quillbolt, if I want to be able to special summon him back through his own effect later that turn or something. But yeah, so level 1 tuners, level 1 non-tuners, level 2 tuners, level 2 non-tuners. This guy has everything covered in this deck, and I try to make sure of that every single time I do this. But it does have to be from the deck, but it can be once per turn. It's just so good. You got to run this guy. And he's not that hard to bring out, especially since Quickdraw is in here. I mean, that's the only way I'm going to be able to bring him out is with Quickdraw. But yeah, anyway. Scrap Dragon, because it's always good to run a Scrap Dragon. You know, I mean, the beauty of Scrap Dragon actually really is, if you want a free destruction, eat off of his level with Level Eater, make him a level 7, destroy Level Eater, destroy a card on their side of the field. Next turn, eat off of him again, make him a level 6, destroy Level Eater, destroy another card. Like, Level Eater is really a free destruction for Scrap Dragon, so just remember that. Chevalier de Fleur. This guy is almost like a mini Quasar. Almost. So once during each of your turns, when your opponent activates a spell or trap card, you can negate the activation and destroy that card. Any spell or trap. It's not even like a Stardust. It could be any spell or trap. So the way that I mainly make this guy is Quick Draw with a TG Warwolf, or it could be Quick Draw still at level 5 with a Quillbolt and a Level Eater. But, I mean, if I could do that, normally I'll go into Road Warrior over Chevalier de Fleur. The only thing is, Chevalier de Fleur only requires 1 or more non-tuner monsters, whereas Road Warrior requires 2 or more. So that's the reason why. It's a really good alternative level 8 for that, especially since once per turn. That's just so good. Junk Destroyer. This guy's pretty good. When this card is Synchro Summon, you can target cards on the field up to the number of non-tuner monsters used as Synchro materials, and destroy those targets. So I usually try to use 2 or more non-tuner synchro materials to make them, because it's really good to be able to like bust 2 back rows, or a back row and a monster, or 2 monster. Well, I mean, obviously those are the combinations that you have. But I mean, just depending on what the situation calls for, his effect can be pretty good. It could be like an MST or a smashing ground or whatever you want it to be. It can also destroy face down. So I'm trying to think of a card that does that. But I mean, it's just really good. And he's got 2600 attack. It's not bad. It's not shitty. It's higher than Stardust's anyway. So yeah. But Stardust, because it's Stardust, also Stardust plus formula equals shooting star. So that's also a reason why. Natural Warrior, because he's just like Junk Archer, he's an alternative level 7 to Black Rose Dragon. His effect isn't that bad. Once during each of your turns, if you activate a spell card, so if you activate a spell card this turn, this card gains 1000 attack during its next attack for damage calculation only. Once per turn, if this attacking card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can change one face-up defense position monster your opponent controls to attack position and attack it. So it's like a free card or a free attack. So if you already destroyed a monster like Blackluster Soldier, he gets to change a monster that they had that was really shitty, perhaps like a Battle Fader, into attack mode and attack again. He's got 2800 attack, so that's pretty damn good for a level 7. Pretty damn good. He's probably got the highest attack for any level 7. I could have looked it up, but I'm honestly too lazy right now. But that's a very high attack, and he's pretty damn good because once during each of your turns, if you activate a spell card, he gets 1000 attack for its next attack. Well, one of those attacks that he's going to get is going to be 1000 attack higher, like 3800, depending on when you activate the spell, obviously. So he's pretty good for that ability. I really like him. Black Rose, nuke the field. Motherfucker's a $15 card, god damn it. Junk Archer. So this guy's pretty shitty attack for a level 7, but his effect's pretty good. He's 2300, but once per turn you can select one monster your opponent controls, remove it from play during the end phase. It comes back, essentially, in the same battle position. But I really like this because, I mean, if my opponent's got some annoying card that's in the way, like a Marshmallow, I just remove it from play and attack directly or something like that. Or just getting rid of annoying monsters that I just normally wouldn't be able to destroy by battle. Get them out of the way so all my monsters can penetrate for a direct attack. That's the main reason why he's in here. He's actually quite good. He's quite useful. I've been able to use him in many cases. Many cases, he's really good. Junk Gardener. Normally you're going to special summon this guy into defense mode because he's got such a whopping defense compared to his attack. His ability is extremely good because it's once per turn. They could try attacking with a Blackluster Soldier. Obviously they should probably use this other effect if they see Junk Gardener on the field. But if they try attacking with something that's really good, if they try attacking with a Slifer, once per turn during either player's turn, you can target one monster, target one monster your opponent controls, change it to battle position. Change its battle position. So change any of his monsters, their battle position. A lot of times what it'll do is in the battle phase they'll try attacking, and I'll be like, nope, switch it to defense mode. So they can't attack with that monster anymore. It's pretty damn good. During either player's turn. Also, if it turns out that I summon a monster that's powerful enough to get over their monster's defense rather than their attack, I'll just switch it. You know, why not? Also, when he's destroyed, sent from the field to the grave, I can then also use his ability. Say they attacked with Slifer. Now I get to use his ability and change the battle position of their Blue Eyes or something. So now their Blue Eyes can't attack because their Blue Eyes was just summoned. Plus, it's in the battle phase anyway. So he can sometimes save you from an extra attack in that way, even if he's now leaving the field, if he's not even still on the field. Hyper Librarian. He's Hyper Librarian. I mean, shit, you get extra summon, or get extra draws from extra Synchro summons. Junk Warrior. Main reason why I have him in here is because he's a level 5 that's easy to make. I normally am using him so I can bring out Quasar. But also his ability is, if like Junk Synchron uses Doppel Warrior to go into Junk Warrior, then you're able to not only summon this guy, but because Doppel Warrior's effect activates at the same time he's Synchro summoned, then you get these two bonus, 400 attack tokens. So those 400 attack, that's 800 attack, so he would then be boosted up to 3100. So when this card is Synchro summoned, it gains attack equal to the total attack of all level 2 or lower monsters you control. Look at how many level 2 or lower monsters I have in this deck. it's amazing. Level your 600 attack. I mean, those tokens, that combo I've pulled off a couple times, being able to do that. It's just really good to be able to like overpower a Blue Eye sometimes, because your lower level monsters actually help boost up stuff like Junk Warrior, you know? Catastor, because every deck should run a Catastor if it can make a level 5. Gets over stuff like a Blackluster Soldier, you know? Or Blue Eyes, I suppose. Formless Synchron, because it's Formless Synchron. You need this guy to make Quasar. You need this guy to make Shooting Star. Plus, he's a free draw. He's not that hard to make in a deck like this, and that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, you know, of course, post in the comment section. And that's pretty much it for the Junk Doppel deck. Sorry that took so long, but I'll actually be doing the replays in the next video. You'll be able to see some. They were pretty good. 2 of them are me showing you why I actually made this deck, and that's not to summon Quasar necessarily, and they're still able to beat my opponent. And then 2 of the duels are actually me summoning Quasar. So it's really good. You actually get to see the big beast in action. So it's really cool. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you learned something from it. Maybe you'll go out and try this. You know, spice it up in your own flavor. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to y'all later. See ya.